Next question. Okay, so next, like this question will also come very frequently, like what is implementation URL and what is proxy URL. Okay, and how we can remove non-functional requirement from our implementation. Okay, so this one is also a very commonly asked question, and here also they can ask different kind of scenario. Okay, so first, implementation URL. So whenever we deploy our Mule application on Mule runtime, one automatic means one URL will be created automatically, and you can use that URL to call your Mule application. So that URL is our implementation URL. If like everyone has completed your deployment on Cloud Hub, I hope everyone completed at least one deployment. Okay, so whenever you are doing any deployment, you will able to see one URL is getting created. Okay, that URL is known as implementation URL. Okay, and that will be generated by Mule runtime automatically. They have some rule to generate that URL. Using following that rule, they will generate that URL. Okay, now second thing, we have proxy URL. So what happened, like many company, what happened, they create one implementation API. For example, we have Experience API we deployed there. Now they want to apply some security on top of that, but they don't want to do apply security in implementation, like in like implementation code, whatever code we have developed, whatever URL is generated. So they don't want to put non-functional requirements. So applying policy, security, all these things are non-functional requirement. They want to keep only functional requirement in that API, and they want to put all the non-functional requirement on separate API. So in that case, we need proxy API. Okay, so on top of that implementation URL, we need to follow some steps to create proxy URL. Okay, and that proxy, whatever like non-functional requirement like applying policy, applying SLA, all those things you can do on that proxy URL. Okay, so second part I also answer how we can remove non-functional requirement from our implementation. So what we will do, we will create proxy URL and we'll apply all the non-functional requirement on proxy URL. So this will be your answer, and this one will be like again many people and like mentioned they faced this question. So whatever question you are seeing here, like it's all question are like asked in interview only, and these all are question asked very frequently. What is API auto discovery for Mule application deployed to Cloud Hub or on premise? Okay, so auto discovery we use to connect our Mule runtime, like application deployed on Mule runtime with API manager. Okay, so everyone should be familiar with this. In Cloud Hub deployment model, we have API manager where we apply policy and other things, non-function where we apply all the non-functional requirement like policy, SLA, and other thing. And we have Mule runtime where we deploy our Mule application code. Okay, now if you want to connect this API manager with Mule runtime, then we need auto discovery. Okay, so for that auto discovery we use this API instance ID which will be created on API manager. So we need to configure that API instance ID inside auto discovery, and that auto discovery will help this Mule runtime to connect with Mule API manager. And whatever request will come, that request will go to first gateway, then it will go to API manager to check all the policy SLA, it's fulfilling all the policy SLA or not. If it will fulfill, then it will go to API implementation, like in Mule runtime. Otherwise, after, like if it will get any error in that particular, for example, that particular user is not valid user, in API manager we have this client ID enforcement. So API manager will able to detect that, and it will give this instruction information to API gateway. So once API gateway will get this information, this is not a valid user, from gateway itself it will send response back to calling system. It will not allow that request to come inside this our implementation. Okay, so auto discovery helps API manager to connect with Mule runtime.
It is mandatory for every API.
API man, yeah, like if you are using Cloud Hub, it's not mandatory, but we follow. When as a best practice, we follow, since every API should have at least one policy, at least basic authentication or client ID enforcement must be there. That's why we must need to like register our API on API manager, and we need to apply policy there. It's not like if you will deploy your Mule on this runtime manager, you will not able to test. You will able to test, but to apply some non-functional requirement like policy and all, you must need to deploy, and you must need to register on API manager. And if you will go for project, then every project, if you are going to develop REST API, then you must need to create this API manager, and you must need to register there.
Okay.
Okay. So next question, like people are getting for this VPC and load balancer. What is Anypoint VPC and load balancer? Okay. So first thing, like this Anypoint VPC. So I'm not sure this part will this question may be a bit complex for you, or maybe a bit difficult if you are like beginner, but if you have good understanding, then you can easily understand. So let me explain, give you more detail about this. So on MuleSoft infrastructure side, what happened, like when you buy this Cloud Hub deployment model, so there we used to buy some worker. Okay, so like for example, I want to take license of this Cloud Hub. They will ask how many vCode you want, how many resource you want. So based on like complexity and how many user we want to support, based on all this analysis, we used to tell them, we have to tell them like how many vCode we need, and based on that vCode they will do pricing. Okay, so whatever vCode we need, what, like if you will increase number of vCode, they will increase your price. Okay, so it's very expensive, like for 3 vCode for 2 year, like it will be almost 1 lakh USD for 2 year 3 vCode. Okay, so it's very expensive, so you need to carefully select this number of vCode you want. You should not unnecessarily take extra vCode, since it will increase your project budget. Now when I will purchase any vCode on Cloud Hub, so in Cloud Hub what happened, like they are using shared resource for all client. For example, MuleSoft has 100 client, so all 100 client will take license. If we all 100 client taking license, so they are using shared resource. They purchased one space on Azure, sorry, at AWS, not Azure. They purchased one space on AWS cloud, and they created their infrastructure there. I took license, so I took 3 vCode from that infrastructure. Same infrastructure they are using for other client also. Okay, now what will happen if we want to, like that is cloud, okay, that is private cloud on by this that is private AWS cloud owned by MuleSoft, but they are sharing that private cloud with multiple clients. Now I don't want to keep that cloud as a like that open for all clients. I want to create my own firewall, or I want to create my own private. I want my own private space in that particular area. So what you can do, you can configure VPC there. So again, VPC, for VPC you need to take license from MuleSoft. So again, you need to pay some amount. Once you will pay, they will provide you VPC, and you can use that VPC on your whatever space you are using. So that space will come inside that VPC, and VPC is like virtual private cloud. It's not private, actual private, virtually we are creating as a private. So compared to other open one, like it's shared by all MuleSoft client, now if you will configure VPC, relatively it will be more secure. So you are creating one secured layer for your vCores. Okay, so that is Anypoint VPC. Okay, so Anypoint VPC we use to provide one extra layer of security to our vCores in Anypoint cloud of deployment model. Now what is load balancer? So load balancer, again it's a MuleSoft Anypoint platform product, which is used for two purposes. One is for load balancing. For example, you have deployed one application on two worker. Okay, so you have worker 1 and worker 2. You deployed your Mule application on two worker. Then what will happen? Whatever request will come, it will distributed in two worker. So who will do that task? So load balancer will do that task. Again, second thing load balancer will do, that load balancer do DNS configuration. Like for example, you have some implementation URL or you have some proxy URL. Instead of that implementation or proxy URL, you want to expose some other URL to external system. For example, your URL is abc.com, but you don't want to reveal that abc.com to external client. You want your company name, for example alpha.com. Your company is alpha, so you want to put alpha.com to them. So what you will do, you will map that alpha.com with abc.com. So whenever request will come from an external system, it will come through alpha. They will call alpha.com, but once it will come to load balancer will map, change that URL to abc.com. Now internally we know what is abc.com. We will call, means this MuleSoft load balancer will call that abc.com. So load balancer we use for sharing load, and we use for providing DNS name. So there are two purposes of this load balancer. Now they may ask what kind of load balancer is there available. So MuleSoft provide two load balancer. One is shared load balancer, one is dedicated load balancer. So if you go for architect exam, then there will be multiple question on SLB and DLB. So in short, we term it as a SLB, shared load balancer, DLB as a dedicated load balancer. So by default, when you will purchase license, you will get SLB, shared load balancer. Okay. So in what happen in shared load balancer, again whatever request will come, for all client request will come through that load balancer only, no matter how many clients are there. For each client, request will come from that shared load balancer only. But if you want, so what will happen in that case, what all disadvantage can happen? For example, some other clients are getting too many requests, so our load balancer will be busy there. So load balancer will not able to take or serve our request. anyhow they MuleSoft will provide you very good flexibility. Your API should not face this kind of problem, but there may be possibility. So to avoid that kind of problem, again you can take license of DLB and you can configure your private load balancer, that is dedicated load balancer, and that load balancer will be used for only for your application. Okay, so in that case, like in this way you can increase like throughput of your API, like maximum number of you are increasing, like your API will able to get maximum number of requests in peak hour also. Okay, so these two things I like, what is VPC and what is load balancer. Okay, next, what is Cloud Hub and
Hello.
yes,
What is the difference between vCode and worker?
vCode actually like it's a unit of worker. Okay, worker is the smallest unit where we can deploy our Mule application, and one worker has 8 type. Okay, that will be decided by number of vCode. So like worker is divided into 8 type. First type will contain 0.1 vCode, 500 MB space. Second worker type will contain 0.2 vCode and 1 GB memory. Third type contain 1 vCode with 2 GB of memory. Then fourth worker will contain, these all are type of worker. Each type has some number of vCode and some number of memory. That is predefined, you can't customize.
Okay.
Okay. Now next is what is Cloud Hub and customer deployed model. Okay. Let me